I really wanted to start a reading vlog for all of October, but the beginning of the month was very busy. My brother got married, that was the big one. But now we're back to normal life. I really wanted to read like a spooky book lineup for October. That's what I'm hoping to do in this vlog. I have 2 other books I'm currently reading that I really need to finish off before I can get into my spooky TBR. I also thought it would be maybe really fun to go get a library card. Appropriate for this vlog. I just moved here. I don't even know where my local library is now, so we can go on that adventure together. It should be lots of fun. Also maybe buy some food. I have like no groceries. That would be a good idea. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work.
Sometime near the Mongol New Year begin at the beginning of 2021. I'm up in February. We got 3 parts.
I did get a library card. Very exciting. I had really wanted to start reading A Monster Calls. It's a graphic novel by Ness, but I started tidying my room, and next thing you knew, I was deep cleaning my closet. So we know how that goes. And I listened to Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World, that's what it's called, by Weatherford. Listened to a few hours of it actually, so I only have about 2.5 hours of that left. Probably just going to go to sleep now. Should I watch Ted Lasso? Should I watch Ted Lasso? No, maybe I'll just go to bed. Good night.
Just a dream, just all in my head. Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said. Tell me and be honest. Tell me, did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winners know? Tell me and be honest. Tell me, should I've known
Wow, it's really good lighting right now. I thought it would be too dark, but it's actually quite good. Anyway, it's been a minute. Reading update. So the other day, children think they're going around, so we'll see them in a minute. So the other day, the internet went out unexpectedly, and I was really irritated. It hijacked my evening. So I had to spend hours fixing it, and once I did, in order to validate my anger, I felt like I had to use the internet. Needless to say, I didn't read that evening. That was the night before last. I finished Genghis Khan yesterday, or Genghis Khan, I think. It was a really good book. It was a really good book. I actually really liked it, so much more than I thought I would. I'm very intrigued by learning things that I don't know anything about, and I knew very little to nothing but stereotypes of Genghis Khan. Didn't even know how to properly say his name, and the Mongol Empire, and to know next to nothing about them just felt like a shameful Western-centric education that I needed to rectify. I finished that, and I'm really glad I did. I have then started A Monster Calls. So I think I technically knew that this was a children's book, but it sort of turned out to be more juvenile than I thought, which my complaint is mostly relating to the spookiness factor that seems to not really be hitting because it's sort of on a juvenile scale, which don't want to disturb the children, so that's tolerable, that's acceptable for the book. Am I liking it? I absolutely like the cover. Let me show you this thing. Look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't say it's not working to get me in like the Halloween mood, but I think it's just not there with what I was wanting. But I think I'm just gonna need to find another something that is a bit spooky. I did start an audiobook. I started The Devil in the White City, which funny enough was in a TBR video that was my very first video I ever made. Then I made a fall TBR and this book was on it and I never actually read it. Nonfiction rather than fiction is much better retained in this brain in audio form. So I think that should be a good one for me to plug away on for the next few days. I think we'll finish this and then I'm excited to pick another fiction option to get into. Very exciting.
The architect also for some decorative projection. All was rooted. Fundamental harmony among the various most imposing structures. And about
I hope I don't make you seasick with all the moving around, but I thought I'd give a little reading update. I finished When a Monster Calls. I think I would say was a very good book and was well done, but I was wanting to read something for the Halloween season that was spooky, right? It was sad. It was not scary in the least bit, really. You know, there's a monster, but it's a bit metaphorical more than, like, disturbing. If someone had given me this book and told me it was a great expression of grief, I would have really liked it. But it wasn't a good fit for this occasion. It is a children's book about a boy who a monster comes and visits him every night and his mom is very sick with cancer. It's just journey of grief, really, and like I said, it is really well done in that regard. I wouldn't characterize this as a scary book despite the title. Never unsettled, but I did cry several times. And I was really mad about that, actually, because I wanted to be scared, and instead I was crying. It was very frustrating. I've, of course, been listening to The Devil in the White City on Audible, on audiobook all day. Oh my gosh. I just walked by here. Did they just... Okay. Well, look at this. This is more interesting. I had no idea. Oh my gosh. Did not even notice these guys when I was walking by before. I don't know how, and I feel really stupid. I think they live here. I think they are domestic. No, they're not. There's no fence on that side. They're really just chilling. It's like a whole family. What are you guys doing here? Oh, he's okay. Okay, well, that lovely diversion did take some of my sunlight, so I better hurry with the rest of this. The river makes me sniffly, so that's what's going on here. The Devil in the White City again. I only have like 3 hours left, I think, right now, which that's decent. It definitely started off with a lot of setup, a lot of establishing the setting and the characters and things. I mean, it's nonfiction, but you know. This is about a serial killer at the Chicago 1893 World's Fair. It's very interesting, actually, to get all of the backstory and the history of how they made the World's Fair, the construction, all those things. I love history, so I guess I like the details, but I was also really ready to get into like the serial killer part. You know, I've never been super into scary stuff. It's interesting. So far, I've found it very interesting. So I've been thoroughly introduced to the serial killer, and he has set up his situation, let us say, and the World's Fair has now begun, and I think things are going to get a bit juicy now.
in place of Serenity, built cemetery and fairground been his wife as well as the mother of his children. Events, Homestead, 1973. Dr. James O. Ray. This concludes the reading of Devil in the White City by Erik Larson, which holds the copyright there. This book was read by Stoker. Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
It's rainy outside, which would be lovely atmosphere, but it's also making the cars on the road really loud, and for some reason there's an airplane I can hear very clearly. I finished The Devil in the White City and I really liked it. It was really good. It has this really great balance of all of this information about the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, background of the bureaucracy of making this huge event happen, as well as interesting historical fun facts and tidbits. All of this historical context is just the backbone of the book, and on top of that is interwoven this murder mystery of this serial killer. I think that the setting and the historical context of this serial killer made it all the more interesting to me. It does get a little bit unsettling at some points, but I was never too unnerved, which I'm a bit surprised at myself for. I always thought I had a weak stomach for scary stuff, but I was really enthralled with this one. It was a good reading day today. I got a lot of reading done. Finished Matrix, and I also read The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. First, let's talk about Matrix. I really liked it. Matrix is a medieval historical fiction about an abbey and about Marie. I loved the premise. It's this sort of all-female utopia, this matriarchal society, this sort of protected abbey of women. The writing was just really enjoyable. The ending tied together so well. Anyway, I have a lot more thoughts that I will gather and present in a far more organized manner. As I said, I also read The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I picked this up last night. I read like 50 pages of it last night and then finished the rest of it today. It's juvenile fiction. I thought this was a cute book. I definitely thought it was well done and a really fun autumn season read. And it's about a boy who is raised in a graveyard by ghosts. It's a cute premise. It keeps it simple and is full of character, some great wit that is characteristic of Neil Gaiman. It all ties together pretty well and is just solid the whole way through. And I was expecting that, and it didn't disappoint. As I've said before though, juvenile fiction is just not typically my cup of tea. Because of that, I think I've probably gotten my fill for now, and I'm going to steer away from anything that's not like definitely adult for the rest of this reading vlog probably. So for fiction, I have a few more options. 2 classics, The Turning of the Screw and We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I think both of these are relatively short, so I might try and do both of these. I'm also picking up from the library tomorrow The Perfect Nanny, although I think it was called Lullaby in the UK and like Europe. And then Mrs. March. I'm not overly committed to that one yet, but we'll see how it looks when I get it tomorrow.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light.
Today is a busy day, lots of running around and errands and things. I have to go in just a second, but I thought I would update you. I ran out the door, but knowing that today would have lots of driving, I downloaded an audiobook to use my time wisely. So I'm listening to Dracula, and I am enjoying it so much more than I expected. I'm sort of hit and miss with Victorian fiction. Sometimes it's just too slow, but this story is just getting straight into it, and it's really great. I'm actually really into it. I'm back in my hometown right now, which is just really nice to come back to and visit now and then. I'll see some family, and the mountains here, the fall colors, the first... Oh my gosh, do you know what that is? That's noon. That's noon. My hometown is so fashioned and small that they sound a fire alarm thing at noon. The reason they used to do it is for all the farmers to go home for lunch, so they knew what time it was. They've been doing it for like 150 years and they still do it. Yeah, I don't know why they still do it. I think maybe it's just nostalgia, but that siren goes off every day at noon. Anyway, the mountains are beautiful. Get to see some family. It's gonna be a good day. Oh, I'm picking up more library books. Yes, very excited.
My room.
You want to show me your room?
She has a
Okay.
boat in there.
What?
But there was something else in there.
Rosie, you want to see?
I didn't see me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty.
It's been a really busy day. I did listen to quite a bit of Dracula. I think I'm more than halfway through right now, actually. Maybe it's because of the audiobook format, but this is actually much faster pace than I was ever expecting. The story is actually very much not what I was expecting, which is really kind of fun to have had this very present idea of what Dracula is as a caricature, but yet somehow be so unfamiliar with the source material that it can still be very novel and unanticipated as a reading experience. I did start The Turning of the Screw this morning, and I don't think I'm far enough in it to really have too much of an opinion. I think I'm fairly certain that it's also Victorian. Victorian is very hit and miss for me, and I feel like The Turning of the Screw is not working too well. I just find there's something about the like Victorian literary style that I either find really disengaging and like very hard to pay attention to. I just find my mind wandering excessively, or it clicks and I get like really sucked into it. We'll see if it changes. It's not a very long book. I think it's only like 140 pages. I should be able to manage it. Last night I finished The Perfect Nanny, and initial thoughts, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was pretty mediocre. Not a terrible book. There were some interesting ideas, but I didn't feel like the execution really followed through on them. And above all, it's just kind of not memorable, which is like the worst thing to say about a book. The author does have some class commentary that I thought was very interesting, but I don't want to give anything away. There's other ways that the sort of like unsettling nature of this book feels like it comes from other sources as well, which undermines that theme and I think just makes it like not work as well. I thought the ending seemed rushed and like it didn't quite come together. Last night I started Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Bernard. It takes place in Savannah, Georgia, and is a nonfiction true crime. I'm only about 20 pages into it, so I think this is premature to say, but it seems to be like just a lot more detail and more slow than I like. This book would probably be better for me in an audiobook format. There being so much detail and like slowness to get into the murder just feels like I don't know if I want to commit to this because it's not starting off with anything interesting. For now, I think I'm going to focus on finishing The Turning of the Screw by Henry James. I also have Mrs. March, but I'm not sure if I want to take a chance on that one or not yet. We'll see. We got book mail. Good morning. So I finished The Turn of the Screw and I did not really like it. I can tell you right now that the biggest problem I had with it was the writing style. I found it really disengaging, and surely some of that is just my personal preference. But the experience was that this book was supposed to be scary, but because I couldn't get into the writing style, it felt a lot like watching a scary movie with the sound turned off. Like, it's not all that scary then if you have the sound turned off, right? So the writing style kept me from feeling like really immersed in the stories. Anyway, I am feeling a little bit off today, not properly ill, just like I didn't sleep well and a little bit of a headache. So I'm hoping for a really cozy reading night this evening. I need to go pick up some books from the library and get some ingredients. I'm gonna make myself some soup and I got some other work I need to get done, and then we'll just have a cozy reading night.
I wanna jump around when I think about yesterday. Your smile, your style so fly high. My, oh my. As time stood still, I got the urge to steal a kiss, and so I did. Now I'm embarrassed, but just a little bit. Oh, there must be gold on those lips and honey on those fingertips.
I'm gonna have to do a faster update here because I keep on getting interrupted by trick-or-treaters. Happy Halloween. It's actually the 30th, but most everyone I know is sort of celebrating today. Let's do a little rundown. I'm actually back in like my hometown. I'm like in my family's house that I grew up in right now. My parents don't live in the country, so my brother lives here, so I'm hanging out with my brothers and their kids, the nieces and nephews, going trick-or-treating with them. We watched Dune last night. I got to go on a walk on like a trail that's by my house that is just really, really beautiful this time of year. We made some soup. We're doing trick-or-treating. All the kids are so cute dressed up. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. So that's sort of today and yesterday. But as far as reading, I finished Dracula. I think for the most part, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It was really decent. It was a lot of fun to listen to, I thought, especially sort of intellectually understanding sort of the cultural reaction to a lot of the sort of scientific revolution in the context of this book. I think it just like represents sort of this interest by the author as well as the time to sort of like express the supernatural through, or like explain it through scientific means, which I just find really interesting and would actually like to do a lot more research on. At the end, it got like really Christian-y, sort of like conquering evil with Christ and with church and God. And I didn't really like that too much. It also felt like I didn't notice that being a theme throughout the book. And so it sort of like came in the end a bit oddly. Anyway, it made me really interested in sort of the history of like the mythology and iconography of vampires, whether or not Dracula is like the source that invented a lot of that, or if the author just gathered that and sort of canonized it in Dracula. That's just something that I come away being very curious to do a little bit more research on. I also read a short story called The Most Dangerous Game. It's only like 50 pages or so I don't want to give too much of it away. I don't think I should say very much about it, but it's about, I would say it takes place about early 1900s, not exactly sure, and it's about this man who's on a boat and they pass an island that the local people are all very scared of, somewhere in the Caribbean, I think, and then he, of course, gets sort of stranded on that island, and they're all very hunting enthusiasts, let's say it that way. I started another audiobook. I am listening to Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, which I have read or listened to before, I can't remember, and I love the movie, and Mr. Tilney is like one of my favorites. It's really cute, and then of course I picked this one up because this is Jane Austen's Gothic novel. I'm not an expert on Jane Austen, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of her like sort of like Gothic homage is a little bit satirical. Everyone in the book is very into another book called Rudolfo, which this reading list has made me really interested to read that book. Sort of side by side. This sort of intertextuality I think is really interesting. So that's where I'm at right now. We have one more day left in the month tomorrow. I think I'm probably just going to finish up Northanger Abbey, which I only have like an hour and a half left in the audiobook, and probably be done there. Anyway, let's enjoy the rest of Halloween. I'm gonna go catch up with the fam for some trick-or-treating. See you soon.
Superman.
You're Superman?
Yes.
Are you also Iron Man?
Yes.
Show me! Wow! Already? Happy Halloween and welcome to the end of this reading vlog. As a final update, I have not yet finished Northanger Abbey. It would be really nice to finish it as closure for this vlog, and I only have like an hour and 20 minutes left. As I thought about it, I realized I would really love to and like enjoy listening to it while I go on a morning or lunchtime walk tomorrow, so I'm just gonna save it for then. Last night trick-or-treating was such a blast. My brother's neighborhood really gets into it, and because I grew up there, I knew a lot of the people in the neighborhood, and it was nice to see them. Ate all the candy, sorted the candy. I tricked the kids into giving me their candy, and we watched Blackbeard's Ghost, an old Disney movie that's a lot of fun. In the evening, and it was just a really great weekend. Today has been really chill, just relaxing at home, catching up on a few things, and I haven't done more reading, so this is where I'm gonna end the reading vlog, and this has been a lot of fun. I've actually really enjoyed it, so you'll have to let me know what you think about sort of a different video format in this vlog style. See what you guys think as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you in another video. Bye.